the class. Today we are going to continue with the Q&A session that we were doing from the biomolecules chapter. The question today that we are going to start our class is with this question. In NCRT we also find this question. The question is glucose or sucrose are soluble in water, but cyclohexane and benzene, a little bit of a mistake I had made. It should be benzene, ZE Ne. Benzene are insoluble in water. Explain. Now, the solubility of any solute in a solvent depends on the concept known as like soluble like concept. Now, in this, according to this concept, a solute will dissolve in a solvent if an interaction is established between the solute molecule and the solvent molecule. Now, in glucose, there are 5 OH functional group present, and in sucrose the numbers of OH group is 8. So both glucose and sucrose form extensive hydrogen bonding. Extensive hydrogen bonding with water molecule when it is dissolved in water. As a result, both sucrose and glucose are highly soluble in water, but cyclohexane and benzene, both of them do not have such interactive force between the benzene or cyclohexane molecule when it is dissolved in water molecule with water molecule. As a result, when benzene and cyclohexane dissolve, they do not when benzene or cyclohexane added in water, they do not dissolve, but sucrose and glucose do dissolve. The second question is, how do you explain the absence of aldehyde group in pentaacetate D-glucose? Now, the structure of D-glucose is CH double bond O aldehyde, CHOH, 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 CH2OH. Now, this is the open chain structure of D-glucose. Glucose also do stay in the hemiacetal form, which looks like this. This is the structure of the hemiacetal form of glucose. Now, when this glucose is hydrolyzed, the open chain formed with aldehyde is predominantly present in the medium, and after, when NH4OH is added to that mixture, as there is the presence of this aldehyde group, that's why the oxime can be formed. Now, when hydrolysis occurs, as there is the presence of the OH minus, the hydrolysis proceeds and the open chain form of the glucose is produced when the OH group reacts under the hydrolysis. Now, when this hydrolysis is not done, instead of the hydrolysis in the first step, if acid anhydride CH3CO whole 2O is added in the presence of acetic acid, in that case, acetate acetate form of the D glucose is formed at the all by transferring but converting all the OH group into the OCOCH3 group like this, and the structure of the glucose that do take part in the specific reaction is the hemiacetal form. So all the OH group converted into the acetate group, and the form of D glucose that take part in the reaction is the hemiacetal form. Now, if NH4OH solution is added now, then no oxime will formed. This will prove that the hemiacetal form in the acetate D glucose form do not contain any aldehyde group. Question number 3 is saying the melting point and solubility of alpha amino acid is higher than those of halo acids. Explain. Now, the structure of alpha amino acid is, let's take an example of NH4 CH2 COO minus in the ionic form. This is the simplest alpha amino acids. Halo acids are this is the general formula of an halo acid. Now, both alpha amino acid and halo acid both are polar in nature, but the polarity of alpha amino acid is much more compared to the halo acids because two pole two complete pole has been created in the alpha amino acids in ionic form. As a result, the dipole-dipole interaction present in the alpha amino acid is extensively high. That is an extensively high dipole-dipole interaction present between the alpha amino acid, ionic form of alpha amino acids, which results in comparatively higher amount of melting point in alpha amino acid than the halo acid. Now, this is the reason for melting point. The solubility factor depend on the interaction of the alpha amino acid with the water molecule. Both the end of the alpha amino acid, that is the carboxylate, and the amine form amine end in the alpha amino acid do form hydrogen bonding with the water molecule. As a result, an extensively high amount of strong alpha hydrogen bond is created when alpha amino acid dissolve in water molecule. In halo acid, on the contrary to that, only the COOH portion, only COOH terminal can form hydrogen bonding with water molecule when it is dissolved, which results in the extension of a higher hydrogen bond formation in the amino acid when it is dissolved in water, resulting in higher solubility of alpha amino acid in water compared to the halo acid. What are monosaccharides? Now, monosaccharides are those carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed to more smaller molecules. Now, the general formula of monosaccharides are usually CH2O whole N. Now, N can be 3 to 7. Depending on the number of N, monosaccharides further classified into more categories, but specifically monosaccharides are classified into two categories. Monosaccharide which contain CHO group, those are known as aldose. Monosaccharides which contain keto group, known as ketones. Now, there are more types of classified monosaccharide are classified into more categories. I just told you that if monosaccharide contains 3 carbons, then the monosaccharide is known as triose. If 4 carbon, it is known as tetrose. If it contains 5 carbon, it contains pentose. It contains 6 carbon, it contains hexose. And if it is containing 7 carbon, then it is known as the heptose. Let's see some structure and try to understand the monosaccharides. Now, this is the simplest form of the aldose that we can have. It contains 3 carbon. So, this is an example of triose. This is an example of tetrose, and so on you can create. What are reducing sugar? Now, there are lots of various types of sugar that we can classify. Reducing sugars are those sugars which themselves get oxidized and helps in reducing other elements. Now, the typical type of reaction for reducing sugar is with Fehling reagent and Tollens reagent. But non-reducing sugars cannot respond to this particular two types of reaction, Fehling and Tollens, because in reducing sugar, two groups are present, that is either CHO aldehyde or C double bond of keto group. These two types of reducing functional group remains present in the reducing sugar, like in glucose, in fructose. This type of sugar are known as reducing sugar because this sugar contains aldehydic and ketonic group. So these two sugar gets reduced and when it reacts with failing or Tollens reagent. But when these fructose and glucose and fructose join together through a glycosidic linkage and form sucrose, sucrose is considered to be non-reducing sugar. Why? Because as sucrose is formed by the combination of glucose and fructose through a glycosidic ring, the aldehydic or ketonic groups are absent in sucrose. So no reducing functional group present, and as a result of that, sucrose do not react to Tollens or Fehling's. That's why glucose and fructose are known as reducing sugar, because they do respond to Fehling's and Tollens. They helps in reducing other element, but fructose are non-reducing sugar.